We can talk about all the different jargon that we have in education, right? When it boils down to it, you're literally teaching about life.
He always made sure I was fed, he always made sure I was in school, he always made sure that we had everything we needed.
I had one girl say, I want to be an FBI agent. I'm like, okay, that's a lofty dream. So let's work on it. She ended up getting a full ride. She's graduating at the end of May. 2 months after that, she'll be going into the agency. That's a victory. The joy is being able to see them accomplish their dreams and their goals. It sounds very cliche, but that's the best part of the job.
He makes me feel very great about myself. He makes me feel like I can do anything in the world.
The only way that you get opportunity to impart on another kid's life is to create their relationship.
He cared and he showed me his love.
I pray for my students all the time.
Mr. Booker has taught me to be myself.
In life, you have a score. There's grace in the score. Just because you mess up right here doesn't mean that you stop. What gives me most joy is the fact that I know that I'm called to teach. And God allows me to do it. And I teach kids, honestly, for them to have a better way of life. And if they have a better way of life, we're all winning.
Is this going to be evidence and this is going to be commentary?
The environment that I try to create in my classroom is one that almost feels like a home, like it's comfortable, it's warm, it's inviting.
Oh, did you?
I did. The pandemic taught me about teaching just how important our role is as teachers, because the students really need us and they really depend on us to be there to support them.
My favorite part about this class is being able to communicate with the other students.
It is about team building, it's about, helping them form relationships.
She made me feel more confident in my writing.
That's one of my favorite things to get to do, is to try to foster that confidence.
Like not having that doubt in myself of asking the questions.
I want them to be critical consumers of text and media and not just take something at face value.
You got to figure out on the spot how to answer.
I get my joy from my students, honestly. Absolutely love teaching. I can't imagine doing anything else.
So one of the things about teaching pre and post pandemic that stood out to me is that just how much kids thrive off of face-to-face contact every day. And this year, I was really surprised and encouraged by my students.
He's a very hands-on learning type of teacher.
What I want is this. It's kind of hard to, teach someone how to serve others when you're adding polynomials, or teach someone about resiliency when you're just solving equations. But you just try to find ways to have that element of mentoring kids and teaching them about life on a day-to-day basis. Coaching is such an amazing opportunity because, I'll have a lot of players on the field that have come through my classroom, and for them to see me in those two different arenas is very important. There's two things we're going to do, so look over here first. The thing that brings me the most joy is when I see kids grow over time, and when I can see that they actually are starting to have confidence in themselves.
He challenges us, but he knows that we can do it.
So I actually thought algebra was super really hard. And then we came here and it was like, oh, all of this makes a lot more sense now.
The pandemic taught me to demonstrate grace and to be patient. And my biggest thing was to keep them engaged and feel like they belonged.
She kept her activities from home engaging to where I felt like I was continually learning.
Okay, so we're gonna do practical. They know that my interest is their best interest. They know that I'm their cheerleader.
And so she finds a way to make students feel like they're a part of the lesson.
I'm there for them every day. They're my kids.
She's the most amazing teacher I've ever had. She's so open-minded and accepting, and she just loves her students so much, and I love that about her.
I'm going to make up a treatment plan for what you came up with. I get to impart my medical experience, my medical knowledge, but I also get to help them become an amazing practitioner, amazing therapist, an amazing nurse.
With her, I get to talk about all the different possibilities that I have.
I teach because I wake up excited every day. Absolutely love teaching, and I'm so glad. I cannot imagine doing anything else.
First and foremost, I think the pandemic taught me that I have to really pay attention to my students' individual needs.
He knows the hopes and dreams of each and every one of his students.
He's always willing to listen.
Front of the room by the board is agree. Look at real situations that are happening in the world and we talk about how we would respond to them.
Now I understand things that I would never think that I would understand.
I talk to them about pencils and how a pencil is great, but in its natural form, it only has an eraser. You have to sharpen it before it can leave an impression. And that in our classroom, we're going to go through the process of being sharpened.
He's awesome, you know. He actually he cares about us.
I teach because other people put enough care and concern into me that I have enough to share. I tell my class at the end of every year the same statement. I'm no longer your teacher, but I will always be your friend. And then I dismiss them one last time. And I cry. Because these are the people I put myself into. These are the people I poured my heart into. And I know that they're going to make the world a better place.